My name's Kay. I'm a Blade Runner. That means I hunt my own kind. Replicants. Artificial humans designed to work, obey, endure, and if need be, die. I'm a newer model built not to rebel, built to follow orders, built to accept what I am. I don't dream of freedom. I don't run. That's for the older ones. The world around me, it's cold, dead, choked with dust and ash. The sky's a gray bruise. The earth stripped of life. Los Angeles sprawls like a sick machine. Neon and smog, surrounded by wastelands. It's not much, but it's home. My story begins on a protein farm way out in California. My spinner glided over endless fields of plastic greenhouses, all collapsed and forgotten. The ground barren except for a single farmhouse standing alone beneath a broken windmill. I was there for a man named Sapper Morton. He looked like a farmer, waist deep in a tank of sludge, harvesting worms. He grew garlic on the side just for himself, a luxury in this world. But I knew what he really was, a Nexus 8 replicant. One of the old models, built without an expiration date, built to endure. He'd gone to ground years ago after Calantha. My job was to bring him in, or retire him. I walked into his farmhouse, polite as I could be. Hope you don't mind me taking the liberty. Wind's a bit unkind out there. He sized me up, suspicious but calm. We talked. He offered garlic, told me about his farm, but beneath that quiet life was something heavier. His satchel, military issue, his eyes, his past. He asked me, finally, planning on taking me in, take a look inside, see what they missed. And then came the scalpel. The fight was brutal. He was huge, stronger than me, tried to crush me like a rag doll, slammed me through walls, but I'm a Blade Runner. I fought precise, surgical, broke his windpipe, dropped him to his knees, squeezed until his eyes rolled back. I scanned his iris, confirmed his identity. He still had fight left, sneered through the pain. How does it feel, killing your own kind? I told him the truth. I don't retire my own kind. We don't run. Only old models run. And then he said it, the first thing that would unmake me, the first thread. You've never seen a miracle. He rushed me, and I shot him. One shot. Silence. I stood over him, bleeding from a wound in my shoulder. Tasted his garlic soup bitter on my tongue. Then I stepped outside, ordered my drone to photograph the scene. That's when I saw it, a flower, a single yellow cowslip, placed at the base of a dead tree. A grave marker, something buried deep. My drone scanned it, revealed a box, a footlocker sealed beneath the roots. I called it in. I flew back to Los Angeles, storm gathering in the skies. The city rose up before me, a colossal mess of metal and light stacked on itself like bones piled on bones. Neon ads flickered against the smog. Above it all, the seawall held back the ocean. Back at the LAPD tower, I went through baseline. They need to test us every time we come back, make sure we're still obedient, still stable, still what they made us. The machine scanned my eyes, barked questions at me. Cells, interlinked, over and over until my voice blurred into rhythm. Within cells interlinked. It's meant to break you if you're lying. I passed. Always pass. They called me Constant K. Gave me my bonus. I went home. My apartment was buried in a crumbling building stuffed with families, noise, heat, resentment. They all knew what I was. Skinner, they'd scrawl on my door. They wanted me gone. I didn't care. Inside, my place was bare, clean. The only company I had waited for me in flickering light, Joy, she's not real. She's a Wallace product, a holographic companion, perfect in every way except touch. But she was mine. She called to me, teasing, warm, happy, made me food that wasn't real, poured me drinks, kissed me with lips of light. She told me she missed me, and I missed her. That night I gave her a gift, an emanator, a portable projector, so she didn't have to be tied to the ceiling rails anymore. She could walk with me, outside, anywhere. When she flickered to life from the device, free to move, to twirl, to laugh, she was radiant. She kissed me on the rooftop in the rain, water passing through her, lightning behind her eyes. She whispered she was happy when she was with me. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But then the call came. The dig team had unearthed the box under the tree. What they found changed everything. Bones, human bones, carefully wrapped and buried. But they weren't human. They were replicant, a woman, dead for 30 years. And she died in childbirth. That was impossible. Replicants can't reproduce. We're manufactured, not born. But the evidence was right there, even etched in her very bones, a serial number. She wasn't just a woman, she was one of us, and she'd given birth. Joshi, my lieutenant, was shaken, more shaken than I'd ever seen her. The world's built on a wall that separates kind. Tell either side there's no wall, you bought a war or a slaughter. She told me to erase it, destroy the evidence, the bones, the records, the child. All of it. You've never retired something born, she said. What's the difference? To be born is to have a soul, I told her. She just stared at me. You're getting on fine without one. But I couldn't stop thinking about it, about the child, about the miracle. I went to Wallace headquarters seeking answers. The Tyrell pyramids were ruins now, replaced by Wallace's towering temples of glass and steel. Inside, cold stone halls held the records. I traced the woman's serial number, tried to find her file. It was fractured and incomplete, pre-blackout data, nothing left but scraps. That's when I met Love, Wallace's right hand, polished, perfect, polite, and deadly, though she kept that hidden under her smile. She led me into the vaults, showed me what little survived the blackout, old memory bearings, cloudy glass orbs. One held a fragment, a Voight Camp test, a woman's green eye, Rachel, that was her name, and she'd been tested by Rick Deckard, a Blade Runner long gone. I asked about him, went to Gaff, one of his old colleagues, but Gaff told me nothing except that Deckard wanted to be alone, retired, disappeared. The trail led me back to Sapper's farmhouse. There, hidden in a piano, I found a photograph, a woman holding a child, standing beneath that same tree, alive and blooming. Behind it, a tiny baby sock, and carved into the tree's roots, a date, 6/10/21, the child's birthday. I pocketed the evidence, then I burned the house down. Meanwhile, Wallace had his own plans. I didn't see it, but I would feel it later. In his temple, Nyander Wallace cradled a newborn replicant, fresh from his vats. She shivered, naked, terrified. He stroked her face, spoke of angels, of stars, of conquest. Then he cut her open with a scalpel. She collapsed at his feet, lifeless. He wanted more. He wanted the child. There is a child, he whispered to Love. Bring it to me. And she swore she would. Back in the city, Joshi came to me herself. Coco, the coroner, was dead. The bones stolen. It's out, she told me. Someone's on your tail. Someone willing to kill. She asked what I had left. I showed her the sock. She stared at it, whispered about her own child, long gone. She asked me about my memories. I told her one of a toy horse, small, wooden, hidden in the fire, of boys chasing me, beating me, trying to take it. It wasn't real, I said, just an implant. But she smiled anyway. Little K, fighting for what's his. I dug deeper, ran the DNA records, cross-referenced the date of birth, and there it was, twins, a boy and a girl. Their records corrupted, scrambled. One must have been fabricated, false. But which one? I needed answers, so I went to the memory maker, Dr. Anna Stelline. She lived in a sterile chamber, sealed away, immune system too fragile for the poisoned world outside. She crafted memories for replicants like me. She told me implants needed to be real, not too perfect, not too clean, or we'd reject them. She showed me her work, a girl's birthday party, vivid and joyful. I asked her to look at mine. I described it, the boys, the horse, the hiding place, the fire. She looked at me, tears in her eyes, and whispered, "Someone lived this." The ground shifted beneath me. My memory, the one I'd always known was fake, was real. It had happened to me. It had to be me. I was the child, the miracle. And that thought burned me alive. I couldn't breathe when she said it. Someone lived this. My wooden horse. My childhood. The beating, the hiding place, the fire. It wasn't just an implant. It was real. Which meant I wasn't just another manufactured skin job. I was born. I was the child. I carried that secret back with me through the rain, my chest burning with it. But the world doesn't stop turning just because you feel something. Joshi ordered me to kill the child, destroy the evidence, keep the order. But how could I kill myself? Joy, you knew something had changed. She touched my face, flickered in worry. I told her the truth. I might be the miracle. She believed me instantly. She told me I was special. And then she did something reckless, something that made my dead heart stumble. She called Mariette, the prostitute from the marketplace. She wanted me to feel what it was to touch, to be touched. Mariette came into my apartment, cool, curious, watching Joy, and then Joy synced herself with her. Two bodies in one space, ghost and flesh. Joy's hands guiding Mariette's, her lips aligning, her voice whispering in my ear while Mariette's body pressed against mine. For one night I let myself believe it, that I wasn't just data, not just a tool, that I was human. But in the morning, reality came back sharp. I held Joy close, but she knew better than me. If anything happens, she told me, break the emanator, kill me first. That way they can't track you. She was willing to die for me, and I let myself think I was worth it. The trail of the child led me to an orphanage, a wasteland of broken buildings and rusting furnaces, filled with children stripped of names, just numbers, laboring like ants under the eyes of cruel wardens. I walked through the chaos, searching, until I found the archives, endless ledgers, each child recorded, each one crossed out, and there it was, a record of a boy, no parents listed, only a note that the boy had been left with a toy. My breath caught, a wooden horse. I pushed deeper into the ruins, into the dark furnace from my memory. My heart was a drum in my chest. I found the hiding place, reached inside, and my hand closed around it. The horse, real, solid, burned at the base, inscribed with the date. My memory was true. I was the child. I was the miracle. But I wasn't the only one watching. Mariette and the others, rebels, replicants, had seen me too. They knew I was important, that I was proof. I took the horse, trembling, back to the city. I couldn't tell Joshi, not yet. Instead, I went to Wallace, to him, or rather to Love. She saw the horse, saw me, saw what I thought I was, and she was afraid. She knew her master wanted me alive, so she let me walk out, for now. Joshi cornered me later. She was terrified, not of me, but of what I represented. She told me to disappear, hide. She was protecting me, in her own way, but she knew she wouldn't survive it. Not long after, Love came to her office. Joshi stood her ground, refused to give me up. Love killed her, quick, efficient, merciless. I didn't know yet. All I knew was the horse, the truth, burning a hole in me. Joy told me to run, to keep going, to find him, the father, Deckard. Las Vegas was a dead city, radioactive, poisoned, abandoned. My spinner cut through the dust, past colossal statues of women crumbling in the sand. I tracked Deckard to a ruin of a casino, gold and hollow. He came at me like a ghost, shotgun in hand, grizzled, old, wary. But we didn't kill each other. Instead, we sat, drank, let the silence settle. He told me about her, Rachel, the woman in the bones. She was the love of his life. He told me about their child, hidden, protected, kept secret. He thought he'd buried them well enough that Wallace would never find them. He stayed behind alone to draw the hunters. I wanted to tell him that I was his son, that I remembered the horse, that I was the proof, but I held it in. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I was afraid. Didn't matter. Love came for him. Her spinner fell on us like a hammer. Her men dragged me down, tore Joy's emanator from my hand, crushed it under her heel. Joy's face froze, reaching for me, and then she was gone, just gone. My miracle, my light erased. I howled, but there was nothing left to hold. They took Deckard alive. Love told me Wallace wanted him, wanted answers, wanted the child. She left me bleeding in the desert, broken, humiliated, alone. But the rebels found me, the ones Mariette worked for. They pulled me out of the sand, nursed me back. Freysa, their leader, looked me in the eyes and told me the truth I didn't want. I wasn't the child. I wasn't the miracle. The girl was. Anna Stelline, the memory maker. She'd hidden her own memories inside me, disguised them as implants, to protect herself. The horse was hers, the birthday hers, the miracle hers. I was nothing, just another tool. But they needed me. Wallace had Deckard. He would break him, use him, find her. Freysa told me to kill Deckard if I had to, before he gave her up. That was his duty as a father. That was my duty as a Blade Runner. So I followed them. Wallace tried to tempt Deckard with a copy of Rachel, a false ghost with green eyes. Deckard turned away. He refused to betray her memory. Wallace had him beaten, prepared to take him off-world to torture him until he broke. I caught him on the seawall, their spinner tearing through the storm, waves crashing like mountains. I hit them hard, metal shrieked, water rose, everything burning and breaking. I fought Love in the flooding wreck, hand to hand, drowning, clawing. She was strong, merciless, perfect. She slammed me into steel, dragged me under, tried to crush the life from me. But I killed her, drowned her in the storm. I pulled Deckard free, half dead myself. The spinner sank, the waves closed over it. The city loomed ahead, endless and dark. I brought him to her, to Anna Stelline, his daughter, his miracle. I didn't go inside, didn't tell her who I was, didn't tell her what I wasn't. I just left him at the door, father and child, the reunion I'd never have. Snow was falling as I lay back on the steps, bleeding, broken, watching the flakes melt on my skin, cold, pure. For once it felt real. My name is Kay, and for a moment, I was more than what they made me. I was enough.